So we're coming off a great weekend. Played Duke on Friday and probably played the worst we've played all year, and we're lucky to come away with a 3-game sweep. We got aced, I think, 3 times in the first 4 balls, which is we didn't get aced 1 time at all on Sunday, if that gives you any gauge of how bad we were passing. So it was good to get that win on Friday, and then on Sunday we played UNC, who I think is ranked 21st, but is probably much better than that. They haven't had a great strength of schedule yet, but we just played them, and now they're going to play the top teams in our conference. They'll play Pitt and SMU coming up, and then Stanford right after that. So they've got a 4-game gauntlet, and I was very, very impressed by them. They exposed a lot for us of things we need to work on, especially on the offensive side. They were really good defensively, and there was a great 4-set win that we had that was getting close to going to a 5th, but we were able to close it out. So it was a great win on the road we were really proud of. And then as Nancy was talking about, we got Notre Dame coming up, probably one of the most improved teams in the conference this year. They had some uncharacteristic losses in the preseason, but have played really, really well once conference season has started up. They're in a 6-2 with some big blockers. They're very similar to UNC. They defend really well. A couple big bombers on the pins. Playing Saturday, last match of the year that we'll play at the Yum Center, which our history with Notre Dame, we actually have played them one time. We were supposed to play them at L&N. And the lights went out. There was a power outage, and then we played them at a high school. What high school did we play them at?
Sacred Heart.
We ended up playing them at Sacred Heart.
I love Sacred Heart.
And then in 2021, my first ever Yum Center game was against Notre Dame. We had 1 match in the Yum Center that year against Notre Dame as well. So a really unique history with Notre Dame. A lot of 5-game matches with them, and playing them back to back is always a challenge.
Have no other questions?
Playing any team back-to-back, do you do any tweaking or changing of lineups, or you just kind of do your thing?
Well, last year was unique. We played them, you play your travel partner. It's not always the same time of year. Last year we played them at the end of the year, and we were humming pretty good, and they were struggling a little bit. So that was actually Peyton Peterson's first ever start. We took one of those matches as an opportunity to, I think, rest Anna DeBeer, and we started Peyton Peterson, and she ended up, we know how that story unfolded. She ended up starting in the national championship in that spot because of an injury. So it was nice to be able to do that. This year, at this time of the year, we're playing them a little bit earlier. There's really not a need or an opportunity to do that. But I do think when you play a team back-to-back, you kind of have your whole array of things you're going to throw at them, and you probably sprinkle that throughout the 2 matches. So I don't think everything that we want to throw at them we're going to do in the first match, because you got to save something for the second match, because teams make adjustments, and that's what makes it fun.
We talked last week about the 5-set issue and maybe closing things out in 4 sets. Was there any part of you that wanted to see a 5th set against UNC?
I mean, no, I wanted to win. But yeah, if we were to play that 5th set, obviously that's on our mind of like, hey, this is our opportunity. We know at some point we might be faced with that, but it's really interesting. Our signature wins this year have all come in 4, and they've typically come in 4 with a very tight closeout in the 4th set. So again, we keep installing about once a week. We're working on 5th set mentality, and we want to be in a big match in a tight moment and prevail in a 5th set. So we'll continue to sprinkle that in through the practice gym, but winning in 3 and 4 is much better than going 5. So I'm not exactly seeking that out, but when the opportunity presents itself, we're excited to see what we've got in a 5th set.
It's always good if you play poorly and get the win, but is there a conversation? What's the conversation, I guess, between coach and players when they do have a game where they play, I guess, below their standard?
We just got to be very blunt. Like, I think that's a trait of our program, is being very, very transparent, being very honest. So we really set the standard and set the tone of the fact how kind of unacceptable it was, the way that we passed and the way we were on first contact in particular against Duke. And I think in some regard, I think that Sunday match is looming, and sometimes our heads aren't exactly where they need to be. So again, I thought it was really impressive, though. What we struggled so badly against Duke, we did so well against UNC, which was first contact passing in particular. To go from getting aced kind of off the court in Cameron Indoor, which is such a great stadium to play in for at Duke on Friday, and then we got aced 0 times against UNC, which I don't remember the last time we played a match that we hadn't been aced. So it was a really cool bounce back for the whole group. That's not just one person's responsibility. It's a whole team effort to fight off getting aced. It was really impressive.
We lost 70% of our offense, statistically speaking, and yet we are still ranked in the top 10, and I think Calissa and Chloe have really stepped up in terms of offense. Of course, Kara, but she's returning, but just replacing those people. Can you talk about Calissa? She had a really good weekend this weekend.
Yeah, and she keeps getting better. So Calissa Blackshear for us has moved from, in club she played middle, now she's playing right side. Especially at the higher levels, the right side has a tendency to carry kind of the offensive load. I don't know if we had shaped that out when we recruited her or anything like that. The lineup kind of presents itself in two-a-days, and you got to kind of listen to your team. And Calissa was hitting for a great clip, and now, she was always very efficient. But what we really need is kills, and she's starting to kind of get those kills numbers. And from us last year, going from a 6'2" to a 5'1", in a 6'2", you have 6 hitters, so they can kind of carry the load of where you're getting your kills and getting your offense. This year we've only got 5, so clearly some people need to step up. And when you go to that 5'1", Naelis Cabello, who we've talked a ton about, is a huge part of that. So I think she's distributing the ball really well. Unfortunately in that pit match, losing that match, but she was 9 for 10. She had 9 kills in that match. I think she's starting to find her offense. We're going in the right direction offensively for sure.
We'll talk about Chloe, her fearlessness, being undersized and yet just wailing away, sometimes 2 or 3 times in the same rally.
Yeah, so she's an undersized outside. There's no doubt about it, and I think she plays with a little bit of a chip on her shoulder, and she plays for kind of all those players who have kind of been looked at like, oh, you're too small to hit in college or you're whatever. And she's a fierce competitor. So, and she's somebody too. It's like on game day you get to see this kind of relentless pursuit of winning with Chloe. But I just got back from the office here, and when I log on my computer, we have this thing called Volleymetrics, and that's where we share all of our video. Our team can watch video, we can watch video, and there's a tagging process on there. So if you see a play, you can tag somebody, and that pops up notification. Every morning when I open that up, Chloe Chacoin has the most tags. So I always think people see the game day, they see the experience, they see what she is, but it's like she puts in the work behind the scenes. So it's not enough to just kind of want it. You've got to put in the time as well, and I think she's somebody that deserves everything that she gets with the time that she puts in.
Typically, you play a lot of Friday, Sunday matches. Do you like, or do the players like a quicker turnaround, having a match on Wednesday?
I think it kind of prepares you for the NCAA tournament. Sometimes you'll play that Sunday match and turn around to play on a Thursday. That's Notre Dame's interesting in the fact that with your travel partner, you're always watching them play the opponent you're about to play. So we've watched Notre Dame more than anybody in the country because we just got done watching them play Duke and UNC when we're scouting Duke and UNC. So I think the quick turnaround is good in that regard, in the fact that we've seen so much of Notre Dame already. Ideally, one extra day of prep would be great for a team you don't know anything about, but there's a familiarity with them just in the fact that our team is kind of sick of watching them because we're always watching them play the opponent that we're about to play.
Anything else? Okay.
Thanks, everybody. Saturday, 3 o'clock, Yum Center. Nothing else going on in Louisville sports, I heard, right? So see everybody there.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody.